podcast where I share tips and hacks to help you design your life and your home your way. It's your girl, Denise Joy. I am an interior designer, a space curator, a 26-year college professor, and I'm the founder of Learning to Live Abroad, where I share my step-by-step progress to retire and move abroad, along with helping women just like you share information to help you achieve your move abroad dreams. So today, I am so excited, and happy Monday. Happy Monday, everyone. If you're watching this as a replay, it's Monday. It's a phenomenal, fantastic Monday, and I am so excited about this particular episode. As I was planning out what would be the next couple of episodes in this series, I thought something that had been really, really kind of like just niggling in the back of my mind. Niggling, that's my little made up word. Actually, that might be a word. But nonetheless, hey, what's up? Thank you so much for joining me live for Design Love Podcast. Is this whole concept of keeping up with the Joneses. You know, you probably have heard this term before, you know, keeping up with others on your block or others in your street or others in your community. So I thought it's the perfect time, particularly where we are many people are doing sort of less consumerism, less spending, no buy or buy low. How do we stop this? I call it keeping up with the Joneses syndrome. I really think that this is a syndrome in the U.S. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. And we're going to talk about how to design your home to fit you just right, to select a home and to design a home to fit you just right. Today's episode fits perfectly in this series that I have been doing for the last couple of weeks, which focuses on how to design your home to fit your lifestyle. That is so absolutely important. One of the principles I practice is encouraging women to fill their homes with things that they love, things that really reflect your personality and reflect and fit the lifestyle that you have, and also your lifestyle as it evolves over the seasons of your life. Listen, if you are new to my channel, please hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell. You don't want to miss any of my always awesome and helpful videos. Also, drop in the comments. Let me know if you are one of my faithful subscribers, faithful viewers with me here on Design Love. I'd love to hear from you and shout you out. Let me know if you have a question, comment in the chat and the comment section, because this is a community. Everything that you put in the comment section serves everyone else who's either sharing in the live experience or they're watching the replay. Trust me, I know, because people let me know that they get a lot of value when they read what other people are commenting on, even if it's just commenting on what you like. Hey, everybody, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me live for today's episode. There's lots more questions to cover. And a few weeks ago, I started my series focusing on helping you to declutter, downsize, and organize your home. There are 5 episodes around declutter, downsize, and organize. So if you need that kind of support, go back and watch those episodes, because we all need tips, reminders, and hacks to just get it done, right? It just kind of sneaks up on you. You look around, you're like, oh my goodness, I got to declutter this spot. In episode 3, how to get organized, I shared some tips to help you downsize your wardrobe, your furnishings, and to get rid of things that just no longer serve you. But today, let's unpack the mythology that you have to keep up with the Joneses. No offense to the Joneses, right? Anybody who knows some Joneses or you're a Jones is no offense. I think in this country, I'm in the United States, we suffer from better than syndrome. Okay, I think of that as like social low self-esteem around, you know, comparing yourself to other people. If you have a bigger house, if you have a better car, a nicer car, then you are, quote, better than other people. I do not subscribe to that. In fact, I abhor it, can't stand it, want to eradicate it, all right? We become far too consumeristic centered and acculturated to buy more of what we don't need so we can keep pace with folks we don't even talk to, or perhaps we don't even like being around them, right? We think bigger and more equals better. Completely not true, all right? So this brings me to before I jump into, I've got 7 things I want to share with you. Is your home Pinterest worthy? I was reading a post on Threads, the social media app Threads, and a woman was talking about how she didn't know if her home was Pinterest worthy. And I kind of I really did like this, y'all, like Pinterest worthy. Really? Or Instagram worthy? Is your home, that's all centered on comparison. Am I measuring up? Am I worthy? It elicits a form of shame about your home, your space, your personality, the things you prefer, your lifestyle, how you like to live. Y'all know my philosophy is do you, boo? Do you? I am so committed to that. Love it when I get to work with clients. I don't care what scale, what level, whether I'm working to help you declutter or literally design a room or multiple rooms in your home. Do you, boo? All right? Let's declare the month of April. Do you, boo? All right? Thank you. Hey, little Matt, good morning. Welcome back, faithful live viewer and faithful subscriber. Love to have you in the house. April. Obviously, I want this to be all year long, but let's start with April. Do you, boo? Design your home your way. Everything that I'm going to suggest pretty much all the time on Design Love centers on what I call a custom on a budget philosophy, or the custom on a budget way. That means that you are going to look at things you can DIY. Everybody can DIY something. You can. You can learn it. You can try it. You can give it. Start with things that are simple. How can you reuse things? How can you repurpose things? And then purchase sparingly. And when you purchase, you're going for quality. Even if you have to save, like if you need a big piece of furniture, like a sofa or a bed in your room, a bedroom in your primary, you're going to save to get the highest quality. All right, so that you can reuse things. It's time to stop comparing and competing. When I was young, when I was a kid, I've told this story many times, but I'll tell it briefly here. Didn't grow up, we grew up, we didn't have much. I lived in 13 different homes from the time I was born until I was 17. And when I say homes, I mean apartments or rentals. My mom, we were constantly moving. On the positive side of that, I got to meet lots of people. I was always going to different schools all the time. So where I'm from and back in Nebraska, I know tons of people. On the not so positive side, I always had to pack things up and move. And then on the positive side, I got used to downsizing and decluttering and redoing a space over and over and over again. So it's amazing how things in your life experience sets you up. At least they did for me. I take that as both sides. Some things not so positive, but certainly lots of positives that I was able to bring into what I do today for myself and many other people. Remember, April is do you, boo. All right. So I never thought I would own a home. I did. I honestly, again, I came from that background where we were constantly moving. And I just didn't see it in the cards for me. But my life began to change. I purchased my first home in 2000, and I've purchased 3 homes up to today. And I've always decided to select a home where I was able to do me. I did my own philosophy. Do you, boo? Do you, boo? Do you, Denise? So my very first home was in 2000. My second home was in 2011. And my third home was in 2017. And they all fit me just right. I always decided to go on the smaller side of things and just take great pride, immense pride in being able to achieve a dream that I thought was unachievable for me. Right? And so I'm encouraging, whether you are currently a homeowner or maybe you are in an apartment, and we can sometimes fall into, and I remember speaking for myself thinking, how will I ever be able to achieve this dream? And then I realized that I had set my sights on things, other people's homes that were really out of my financial means. But that didn't mean that what I could afford financially wasn't going to be awesome. And I couldn't curate that space and make it wonderful and magical and loving and supportive for me, my friends and family who would visit that space. So I focus on making sure that you are going to do the things that serve you. What about generational homes, right? That's a lifestyle that I find a lot of people frown on for various reasons, various reasons. But one thing that I've heard over and over again is this sense that if someone is living in a generational home, oh, they're somehow not self-sufficient enough. You frown on that person, or you think, oh, maybe they're a freeloader, or maybe they aren't able to support a family. Just so many assumptions, y'all. Let's get away from the assumptions. Hey, everybody. Thank y'all for joining me live for Design Love Podcast. All right, let's jump into today. We're going to discuss 7 things I want you to focus on. Home size, the 80-20 rule, open floor plan, multi-purpose rooms, a variety of color, impress yourself rather than seeking to impress anyone else, and embracing your home design personality. Let's jump into number 1, home size. The size of your home does not make you better than anyone else. The size of your apartment doesn't make you better than anyone else. Some of my favorite TikTok, I love to go on TikTok to do market research and just watch and observe. Some of my favorite TikToks are watching families, sometimes in New York, but in other places, who are strapped for space, and how ingenious and creative they are with how they live in those spaces, and also aesthetically pleasing and beautiful. The size of your home. I just want to stricken this from people's consciousness. It's not the size, it's what you do with your space. In fact, I remember when I had my son, and I lived in a studio apartment, but it had this huge sort of pseudo closet that you kind of walk through to get to the bathroom. It was oversized, and before I had my son, I did use it as like this walk-through closet. But once I knew that I was pregnant, I was going to have my son, I tricked that baby out and turned it into a nursery. When people and visitors came, they literally were floored. They could not believe how I had tricked that space out, and it was beautiful. And it still was a pass-through to get to the bathroom, but again, your ingenuity. Full stop. Because there are a lot of jerks who live in very large and fancy homes. Do not forget that. This is really about social self-esteem, this point. At different stages of your life, you may require a different sized home with different things inside of it. Single and just starting out, you may only need a 1-bedroom condo or a 1-bedroom apartment. Married with kids, you may need a larger home, but you can, as I said earlier, be creative with space planning. You don't have to break the bank to get that mini mansion, to say, ooh, look how I've made it. Ooh, honest to goodness, y'all, when you achieve your singular dream that is based on what you need, what fits you, baby, then you have made it. You made it. It's not comparison. Let's stricken that, right? There's a saying, comparison is the thief of joy. I forget who to attribute that to, but y'all know what I mean. Comparison is the thief of joy. And Denise Joy, that's the center of me. That's my middle name. I often say my parents, they put a number on me. All right, if you're an aging senior, you may end up paying mortgage for an oversized storage unit, heating and cooling in places you rarely go. I have a friend who basically admitted this to me a couple of weeks ago. They have a 3-bedroom home, brick home with a finished basement. They said they found that they've lived alone, they're senior, and they really, it's tough to keep up with heating, cooling. They try to shut off the basement to cut their electric bill and their heating bill and everything. So you've got to really think wisely about what you need to do as you evolve in your life. Don't be ashamed or afraid to select and design the kind of home that's the right size for you, and it makes financial sense for you. That's home size. Number 2, the 80-20 rule. If y'all been watching the podcast, you know this is one of my favorite things to bring up because it is so important. It is a game changer. Did you know that most people only interact with about 20% of the things they own? So that means you could look around any room in your home and you're really only interacting with about 20%. That means 20% of your shoes, 20% of your clothes in your closet, 20% of the clothes in your dressers. You're only touching 20% of the furnishings that you actually have, right? So the 80/20 rule is something that you just want to like, you want to embody that. You want to own that from a knowledge perspective. So we become so acclimated to have stuff for the sake of saying we have stuff, right? We want to get out of that mindset. What can you let go of? Hi, what's up, Diane? Welcome back. Faithful subscriber and viewer. Appreciate you being in the house today. I'm on fire today. At least I think I am. Let me know in the comments if y'all feeling this, right? So what can you let go of that you barely even use anyway? What can you continue to downsize? What can you donate to maybe a local thrift store or put in your buy nothing group so someone else can practice the custom on a budget principles? Can you downsize your home to fit your current needs? Could you rent out a room to a traveling nurse for extra income? Again, I just want to eradicate this sort of sense of what do you call it? Ultra independent sustainability. It's a fallacy. You should do what you need to do, particularly in this economic climate that we are in right now. I'll give you say, I swear for God. That's what my aunt, she used to say that. I swear for God. She used to say that and I already did. But you know, you want to really pay attention to your 80/20 rule, the experience that you're having. Do you just have a bunch of stuff around you for the sake of those things? Now, of course, I don't mean don't have vignettes, don't create moments in your home that are aesthetically pleasing to you, but overconsumption, overabundance, particularly when you've acquired those things for the sake of comparison. Hey, what's up? Welcome to those of you who are just joining me live here for this episode of Design Love. All right, number 3. Many of our newly built homes, have an open floor plan. You know what I mean? There's literally no walls between the kitchen, the dining, and the living room. It's just open, right? And I have a 1925 bungalow. In fact, it's my home's 100-year birthday this year. Woohoo! For 1925 to 2025. I love my home. And I love it because it's not open floor plan. I love it that it has these cozy rooms separated out. Although between my dining and living room, I have a huge, back in the door, there would have been those, what do you call those doors? Pocket doors. But of course, they're not there anymore. But it's a beautiful opening. Open floor plan is like the tiny house movement. It's not for everybody. Okay. So, I don't want you to be thinking if you don't have the trendiest current new build experience in your home, then, again, back to comparison and competing. Oh, you haven't made it or it's not for you. Oh man, that's so sweet. All right, little Mac. My home, of course, you all know is called Bailey's Cottage. And I'm going to do a video. I'm going to do an episode about the history of my home and why it's named Bailey's Cottage. It's something that I truly adore. So thank you so much, little Mac. So open floor plan. See, some of the problems with the open floor plan is there's a lack of separation and there's noise that creates obstacles in the home. Anybody who's had this experience, whether you're watching live or you're watching the replay, drop in the comments. Are you a fan of open floor plan? What are some of the issues you have found with the open floor plan experience? So when there are no walls, no sectioned off barriers, noise will spill over. In a lot of the new build 2-story homes, they also have those sweeping cathedral ceilings. That's where the ceiling is 20 feet high and it looks so grand. It looks so rich. But there are lots of problems when you have a home that has cathedral ceilings. And particularly those that have that little Juliet balcony where, from the second floor, you could look over and look down into the living or the den down there. So here's one of the main problems that those sort of sweeping cathedral ceilings with the Juliet balcony have: noise. Again, the noise factor from if you're watching television or having a conversation, let's say at 8 o'clock, and maybe you have kids or grandkids are over and they're sleeping in the bedrooms on the second floor. Well, all the noise is going to drift because the noise is going to rise and it's going to be affecting the bedrooms, and you'll try to shut the doors, but you can still hear people talking. So I just don't want people to get sucked in by what they think looks so rich and so expensive and so worthy. This sort of open concept and these cathedral ceilings. You have to know the drawbacks about those spaces. So here's some tips if you do have that kind of a space, particularly cathedral ceilings. You want to make sure that you have a lot of noise absorption material in the space. All right. Ah, yes, little Mac, that is so true. The open floor plan just opens up to more cleaning because dust is going to travel. Certainly, if you have a pet, dander and hair, it's just going to get in every crook and. Woo! Don't get me started with the kitchen. I designed a client's home in New Orleans, open floor plan, beautiful, beautiful space. The kitchen, there really wasn't a dining room, although you could have squeezed one in. She opted not to have, and then the living room. And so when you have something like that, particularly if you have a pet, you're going to have pet hair in the kitchen area because it's nothing, no walls or anything to kind of be a barrier to cut that off. And so you have to really be clear and make a really sound choice on what you can and cannot tolerate in those situations. So even for the open floor plan and cathedral ceilings, these tips will help you. Noise absorption materials like carpet with the thickest padding. The thicker the padding and the carpet is going to have a lot of noise absorption. All right, even talking. Not just walking, but even talking. Heavier drapes or curtains at the windows, noise absorption. Dense, larger furniture. So again, these are all noise absorption types of tips that you can use in those spaces to sort of work around if you're having these issues. Don't have surround sound in those spaces because the sound is already bouncing. Like when I say surround sound, like if you have a television surround sound, if you have music, it's going to really be louder because there's nothing for the other barrier walls to absorb the sound. So open floor plan does not mean bigger, better. I've made it. Number 4, multi-purpose use of your rooms versus a single purpose of your rooms. I'm a big fan of a multi-purpose. Now, I'm a fan of making sure that a room has an identity, but I'm also a fan of making sure that you can put zones in a room. I love to design with zones because it creates sort of a mini separate or second identity in a space. Don't be afraid to give a room multifunction. Some people are afraid of this because they fear that somebody will say, oh, is your home big enough? Do you have enough space? Absolutely, my home is big enough. Absolutely, I've been creative and I've used my ingenuity and I've used my ability to think outside the box to make sure that my home has multiple uses so the things I need are present. So an easy way for you to do this is to create, as I said, zones. You can have, for example, a small office space in your bedroom, especially y'all, since most offices, all you need is a table for your laptop, something small, your cell phone, the internet for Zoom meetings, and a comfortable chair in a quiet location. And that's usually in a bedroom. You really don't need something huge. The days of the big giant home offices are kind of really passe, quite honestly. Gone are the days where we have like multiple large filing cabinets in the house, meeting with clients, etc. Those days are pretty much gone. Now, depending upon the size of your business, of course, you would need something different. But if you are a solo entrepreneur, solopreneur, you really don't need, or if you work remotely, you don't need some big, vast space, okay? Downsizing your space is not a mark on your ability to thrive in society. So if you have a room set up in your home that's a single-use home office, you might turn that into either a guest bedroom, or if you have the capacity. I have a friend of mine in Denver. Her kids are aged out. She's there alone. She now rents out 2 rooms in her home to traveling nurses. It's worked beautifully for her. I am looking forward to doing this when I do retire and travel and move and travel abroad. I'm going to house hack my home, retain the home. I'm looking forward. I know too many people who have taken a full financial advantage of the traveling professional, traveling nurses, etc. So do not discount that, everyone. Number 5, color variety. versus trending neutrals. Woo! Have y'all heard about the trending neutral where the neutral trend is so deep that everything the family wears is in the shade of beige, and everything in the house is in shades of beige? When I first saw this article, it was an article. I was like, "Is this like a April Fool's joke?" But no, it's actually a trend. Now y'all know, if you're new to my channel, you'll find quickly I'm all about color. I'm all about vibrancy. Neutral trend is an absolute no. I cannot stress it enough. You do not have to follow color trends. If you are on Pinterest and you're following all the, the neutral mod scene, your nails are neutral, your clothing is neutral. Trends are there largely to encourage you to buy things, to encourage consumerism. Now, of course, I am not saying we don't buy anything ever. But again, my custom on a budget philosophy is DIY, reuse, repurpose, and purchase sparingly. And when you purchase, you're purchasing for high quality so you can retain it for long periods of time, maybe reupholster things, right? So you can get different looks over different seasons. So, do you. Remember, April is going to be do you, boo. Do you, do you. I always want to know, what's your favorite color? Whenever I'm working with a client, what's your favorite color? Come on, Diane. Come on, girl. Yes, I love it, sis. And your favorite color is not there for you just to wear in your clothing or for your car. If your favorite color is not in your home, remember, your favorite color, it deserves to have center stage in your home, no matter what that color is. Was this on TikTok? It might have been on YouTube, where I was watching a video and purple was this woman's favorite color. And she had chosen to paint her kitchen cabinets this dark shade of, it wasn't quite eggplant, because eggplant can be kind of on the black side, but it was this beautiful, true purple. And I'm telling you, the way she had that joint designed, it was so stunning. So stunning. So you don't have to only go with thinking, if I do a purple kitchen, what are people going to think? Well, you know what? Who cares what people think? Do you, boo. Do it with style and a touch of flair. All right? But you got to own it. You got to own it and be really, really empowered by your choices. All right? Number 6, impress yourself versus impressing others. Impressing yourself, though, really asks of you to know who you are. See, really, design, your space in your home, is about understanding yourself. It's understanding what you value, who you are, what serves you. Now, if you have other members in your family, absolutely, you're going to integrate those aspects into their home. When my son was younger, I didn't ever have a lot of money, particularly when he was younger. And I'll tell you this story. Before I purchased my first home, because I was saving money, I chose to rent a 1-bedroom apartment, and my son was 8, between 7 and 8. I know he was 8 by the time we moved. And the apartment that I chose, it was huge. The 1-bedroom was like one of those old school buildings in the Washington, D.C. area. And it was perfect. So I split the room so that the room was perfect. So that one side of it was his side of the room. And there was a bunk bed there. He could even have friends over. Then I let him paint his side of the room to select the paint color, right? He selected a blue. That was what he chose. Painted. I had a little TV mounted in the corner, high up on the wall. So the point is that we together decided to do you, boo, and to design a space. I was never like, feeling any kind of way as people would come by. Everyone was always so impressed. Like, I can't believe that you just, like, it's just so perfect. You just made it feel like it, could work. Absolutely, it could work. And again, I took a nod from folks who live typically in the New York area, more space compromised types of environments, where that's what you do. You work it out in terms of having a family there. So what do you have in your home? If you were honest with yourself and it's only there because you thought it would impress people. That item needs to go. It should go because it's just putting out the wrong energy. I don't believe you should have anything in your environment, not in your home, nothing that the base, the core of why it's there is because you believe it will impress people. Excuse me, y'all, but the hell with what other people think. You got to center yourself, okay? You got to center yourself. You got to stand, as they say, stand on your business. Stand on business, 10 toes down all the way to the ground. Stand on business, all right? Now, what could you change or add to your home today that would really impress you? It would just impress you, meaning you would like it. You would love it. You get a very good vibration, a very good energy emanating off of that. It could be something as small as a book. I have 4 design books that I love them so much. I've studied them. I'm always researching, and they're like my design Bibles, right? I just adore them. It could be something as small or as simple as a book. It could be a piece of furniture. It could be some lighting. It could be some artwork. It could be the color on the walls. You know, there's so many ways for you to have things in your home that impress you. They restore you. They support you. They lift you up. All right. So number 7, this is our final one. Embrace your home design personality. As you can see, pretty much the theme in this of how to stop keeping up with the Joneses. Oh, you want cabinets that go all the way to the ceiling. You know, I love admirable goals. I love admirable goals, and creating a timeline and the budget to acquire those goals just means the world to me. And so, Little Mac, I stand in it. I stand in support of you and your goal. And please let us know when you are able to achieve it. You might be ready to achieve it next week. It might take you 6 months to a year. But the fact that you are articulating that goal and you're standing on it because you know that will give you joy, impress you, I'm standing in the gap with you. I'm standing strong. So number 7, embrace your home design personality. Here's some questions that I want you to think about. And the power of what I'm doing today is on Wednesday. For Wednesday's episode, we're going to go deep dive into this right here, embracing your home design personality. Here's some questions to think about. Do you like to shop for great finds at like a flea market or a thrift store or Facebook marketplace because you're looking for things that are unique, things that have a sort of an exclusivity for you? What's the first thing you do when you get home from work? What's the first thing you do? Do you go in the kitchen? Do you love to make tea as your sort of decompressing moment or drink of choice? Do you sort of strip off everything and get into your relaxed clothes and flop into your favorite chair? What are some of the things you like to do when you get home from work? If you were having a party at your home, what would your theme be? For me, my one theme would be vintage hip hop. Yes, I love to mix modern and vintage with the Afro-Bohemian design style. What would be a party at your home? What would the theme? What is your favorite seat in your home? I actually have my living room, my bedroom, I have a guest room and a dining room, and I have a favorite seat or a place to sit in all of those rooms. When I don't have a guest staying with me in my guest bedroom, there's a chair in there that I love to go in there and sit in and read. Where do you love to shop for home items? Okay, if the majority of your home items are coming from stores like TJ Maxx and Marshalls, I want to encourage you to expand. You are falling more into the trends of, how a home should look when you're shopping at those stores. What's that other one? I think it's called Home Something. Somebody put it, it's Home Decor, Home Something. It's this big one, everybody, you get your pillows there and things like that. I want you to expand. Search on the internet. There's so many places to shop from that give you more of a curated opportunity to curate your space versus go with the trends. Which 2 colors do you wish were not in your home? This is a big one. What two colors, when you look around, do you realize you wish that those colors were not in your home? Okay. There's a color from really the 70s, which was like maroon, like a dark maroon color. And I have a sister friend and she loves maroon. And I said, you love a 70s, sort of almost 80s themed home. And she was like, you're right. And I'm like, and I love that for you. You embrace it. Her home is beautiful. Maroon isn't my color, but I'm telling you, because I know and can feel that that's her color. Like, I give such mad respect, and I feel good in her space. That's what matters. Which two colors are your current favorite in your home? What are you like? I love it. I love this room. It has the color vibe that I want. Do you like comfortable, soft sofas and chairs you can cuddle in? Do you like the pretty glam of bookshelves that look like they have on like After Five clothing? All of these are very distinctive and different personality traits. Do you like plants in your home? Or are you like, nope, I do not want a living plant in my house? And then lastly, have you ever had anything reupholstered? Have you ever had anything reupholstered, right? I have one, two, right now I have one item that I have had left because I've had other things reupholstered and then I've like donated them to a thrift store, etc. But I believe in reupholstering furniture. So there's a lot more questions. As I said, we're going to go in Wednesday's episode, and we're going to go deep dive in embracing your home design personality, because this is not about keeping up with the Joneses. Selecting your home, designing your home, we are eradicating keeping up with the Joneses. April is do you, boo. All right. We really want to make this for the rest of your life. But let's start with April. And I'm also going to talk on Wednesday about the different design styles and how you can create a hybrid of two, perhaps more, but definitely two design styles to really hone in on what is your distinctive design personality. The myth that says you must do things that compare you to others when it comes to your home is a lie designed to keep you chained to trending consumerism. It's it's a self-sacrifice of your social self-esteem. If you don't have this issue, awesome, good for you. But I have found in working with so many clients over the years that many people get sucked into that, consumeristic, current trending kind of a vibe, and they buy things and put them in their home and end up, they don't even like it. They really don't like it. It's like, oh, I got like a Pinterest looking house. I don't even like this place, right? If you need to make a final break from it, then I hope I have said something today in this episode that helps you break that cycle for good. For good. As always, thank you so much for joining me for Design Love Podcast. Let's talk design, where I share tips and hacks to help you design your life and your home your way. As always, do you, boo. Today we close out our affirmation. Oh, wait, Diane, you are a thrifty person. You enjoy changing the colors in your home. It's change your art. It always lifts your mood. Excellent. That's an excellent. We are the arbiters. We are in control. We are the creators of the energy and the vibe in our spaces, and having an awareness and having the courage and having the empowerment to keep shaping and reshaping our home to support us for the different seasons we are in life and what we may need as we go out, open the door of our homes and go out there into the world where it's not always kind, it's not always supportive, it's not always a pleasant place to be. But no matter what your home is, an apartment, a one bedroom condo, a two bedroom, 2-story, whatever, you get to control that space and you get to do you, but we don't need to be keeping up with the Joneses. As always, I close each episode out with an affirmation. Here's the affirmation for today. I'm through with keeping up with the Joneses. From this day forward, it's my home, my rules, and my style. Yes. Thank you again for joining me for Design Love. Hey, all right, thank you so much, Little Mac. Remember, episodes drop on Mondays and Wednesdays at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Join me this Wednesday. We're talking about continue to embrace your design personality. If you didn't join me live and you're watching this as the replay, make sure you drop what country or state you are watching from and what brought you to this episode. And if you have any questions, as always, I appreciate y'all and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye, everybody.